Hello guys, welcome back to my new video. So today we are going to read The Art of Seduction, and we are going to read today. We have completed this. Today we are going to read the Dandy. Okay, so let's start. Let me grab my pen. Okay. The Dandy. Most of us feel trapped within the limited roles that the world expects us to play. We are instantly attracted to those who are more fluid, more ambiguous than we are. Those who create their own persona. Dandies excite us because they cannot be categorized and hint at a freedom we want for ourselves. They play with masculinity and femininity. They fashion their own physical image, which is always startling. They are mysterious and elusive. They also appeal to the narcissism of each sex. To a woman, they are psychologically female. To a man, they are male. Obviously, who doesn't know that? Dandies fascinate and seduce in large numbers. Use the power of the dandy to create an ambiguous, alluring presence that stirs repressed desires. So, if you want to become a dandy person, then you have to create your own persona. First is this. Dandies excite us because they cannot be categorized and hint at a freedom we want for ourselves. You have to make your decisions by your own. That's it. I mean, a masculine, a feminine person who is, very, very uh, trustworthy, or who makes decision on his own or on her own. That's it. Keys to the character. Many of us today imagine that sexual freedom has progressed in recent years, that everything has changed. For better or worse, this is mostly an illusion. A reading of history reveals periods of licentiousness, imperial Rome, late 17th century England, the floating world of 18th century Japan, far in excess of what we are currently experiencing. Gender roles are certainly changing, but they have changed before. Society is in a state of constant flux, but there is something that does not change. The vast majority of people conform to whatever is normal for the time they play the role allotted to them. Conformity is a constant because humans are social creatures who are always imitating one another. Dandies have existed in all ages and cultures, and wherever they have gone, they have thrived on the conformist role-playing of others. The dandy displays a true and radical difference from other people, a difference of appearance and manner. Since most of us are secretly oppressed by our lack of freedom, we are drawn to those who are more fluid and flaunt their differences. Dandy seduces socially as well as sexually. Groups form around them, their style is wildly imitated, and entire court or crowd will fall in love with them. What the? In adapting the dandy character for your own purposes, remember that the dandy is by nature a rare and beautiful flower. Be different in ways that are both striking and aesthetic, never vulgar. So basically, dandy character for your own purposes, remember that dandy is a, by nature, a rare and beautiful flower among all of us. Be different in ways that are both striking and aesthetic. Never vulgar. Poke fun at current trends and styles, go in a novel direction, and be supremely uninterested in what anyone else is doing. Supremely uninterested in what anyone else is doing. Most people are insecure. Slowly, they will come to admire and imitate you because you express yourself with total confidence. Obviously, yes. The dandy has traditionally been defined by clothing, and certainly most dandies create a unique visual style. Beau Brummel, the most famous dandy of all, would spend hours on his toiletry, particularly the inimitably styled knot in his necktie, for which he was famous throughout early 19th century England. But a dandy style cannot be obvious, for dandies are subtle and never try hard for attention. Dandies are subtle and never try hard for attention. Attention comes to them. The person whose clothes are flagrantly different imagination or taste. Has little imagination or taste. Dandies show their differences in the battle touches that mark their disdain for convention. Oscar Wilde's green velvet suit, Andy Warhol's silver wigs, the female dandy works similarly. She may adopt a male clothing, say, but if she does, a touch here or there will set her truly apart. No man ever dressed quite like George Sand. The overtall hat, the riding boots worn on the streets of Paris made her a sight of behold. Remember, there must be a reference point. If your visual style is totally unfamiliar, people will think you at best an obvious attention getter, at worst crazy. Obviously, yeah. There must be a reference point. If your visual style is totally unfamiliar, people will think you at best an obvious attention getter, at worst crazy. Instead, create your own fashion sense and altering prevailing styles to make yourself an object of fascination. Do this right and you will find widely imitated. The nonconformity of dandies, however, goes far beyond appearances. It is an attitude toward life that sets them apart. Adopt that attitude, and a circle of followers will form around you. Dandies are supremely impudent. They don't give a damn about other people and never try to please. Okay. The insolence of the dandy is aimed at society and its conventions. And since people are generally oppressed by the obligation of always being polite and self sacrificing, they are delighted to spend time around a person who disdains much niceties. What? This is totally opposite of my personality, man. What can I do? Like, please avoid the noise in the background. They are the, you know, natural creatures of nature. Let me read this again. This is quite interesting. Dandies are supremely impudent. They don't give a damn about other people and never try to please. The insolence of the dandy is aimed at society and its conventions. And since people are generally oppressed by the obligation of always being polite and self sacrificing, they are delighted to spend time around a person who disdains much niceties. So basically, in this paragraph, you can see here, in this paragraph, from here to here, they are talking about the good qualities of normal people. And this one line has the quality of this dandy. Okay? Got it. Dandies are masters of the art of living. They live for pleasure, not for work. They surround themselves with beautiful objects and eat and drink with the same relish they show for their clothes. The key is to make everything an aesthetic choice. Your ability to alleviate boredom by making life an art will make your company highly prized. The opposite sex is a strange country. We can never know, and this excites us, creates the proper sexual tension. But it is also a source of annoyance and frustration. Men do not understand how women think, obviously, and vice versa. Okay. Men do not understand how women think, and vice versa. Each tries to make the other act more like a member of their own sex. Dandies may never try to please, but in this one area they have a pleasing effect. By adopting a psychological trait of the opposite sex, they appeal to our inherent narcissism. Okay, so narcissism basically means a person who is very self-centered and self-obsessed. Okay, he is called narcissist, and the person has less empathy. Okay, By adopting psychological traits of the opposite sex, they appeal to our inherent narcissism. This kind of mental transvestism, the ability to enter the spirit of the opposite sex, adopt to their new way of thinking, mirror their tastes and attitudes, can be a key element in seduction. It is a way of mesmerizing a victim. Okay. So, this part is a little bit, complex. First thing, here we have read men do not understand how women think and vice versa. Each tries to make the other act more like a member of their own sex. Dandies may never try to please, but in this one area they have a pleasing effect, and that is by adopting the psychological traits of the opposite sex. They appeal to our inherent narcissism. This kind of mental transvestism, the ability to enter the spirit of the opposite sex, adapt to their way of thinking, okay, mirror their taste and attitudes, okay, can be a key element in seduction. Okay, if I want to seduce a narcissist, maybe either man or woman, then this is the main trait that I need to look for. Okay, I don't know what to write, I just gave it. So this is a male because this is a feminine Dandi. Okay, so this is for male. So if I want to seduce a male person and if I want to make him like me, then I have to go adapt their way of thinking, mirror their taste and attitudes, can be a key element in seduction. It is a way of mesmerizing your victim. That's it. It is for male. Okay, the feminine dandy, the slightly androgynous male. Okay, androgynous male? Androgynous. It's a kind of new word for me. So I need to go. Okay, I'll do it later. Okay. The feminine dandy. The feminine dandy lures the woman in with exactly what she wants, a familiar, pleasing, graceful presence. Mirroring feminine psychology, he displays attention to his appearance, sensitivity to detail, a slight coquettishness, but also a hint of male cruelty. Women are narcissists in love with the charms of their own sex. By showing them feminine charm, a man can mesmerize and disarm them, leaving them vulnerable to a bold masculine move. Okay. So, if I want to seduce a woman who is a narcissist, then what I want to do? First, I need to understand what is feminine dandy is. So, the feminine dandy is the lures the woman in with exactly what she wants, like a familiar, pleasing, graceful presence. This is what she wants. Mirroring feminine psychology, if I am mirroring feminine psychology, I am displaying attention to his appearance. Let's say I am a male narcissist and in front of me there is a female narcissist. So if I want to disarm her, what I'm going to do? Um, I'm going to do mirror feminine psychology. First of all, mirrors feminine psychology. Okay, display attention to his appearance. I have to mirror feminine psychology to the person, and I have to give detailed attention to my appearance, sensitivity to detail, a slight coquettishness, but also a hint of male cruelty. Okay, so these are the things. A bit of I have to do it. Women are narcissists in love with the charm of their own sex. Like, let's say there is a woman, narcissist woman, and I am a narcissist man. I am sure I want to seduce narcissist woman. Now, first thing, I am going to adopt the psychology of narcissist woman, the feminine psychology. First, adapt the feminine psychology and show Okay, show it to her. Display attention to appearance, maybe mine or maybe her. Sensitivity to detail. Okay, I don't know what is sensitivity to detail. Maybe the sensation, like sensing what her body language is saying, what's her emotional intelligence, something like that. So this is one thing. A slight coquettishness. I don't even know what is this, but I'll figure it out. But also a hint of male cruelty. Okay, I need to Google it. Okay. Truly, I can easily understand this male part, but this line is true. Men do not understand how women think. So this is true. That's why I'm unable to understand this. Let's click a photo. Make it simple. A feminine dandy, a man who has some feminine qualities. Okay, so I'm currently reading from my phone. Okay, so this is I didn't understand this, so I take a photo and asked to AI. So here's what the reply looks like. I will read it for you. A feminine dandy, a man who has some feminine qualities, attracts women by giving them exactly what they like. Someone who feels familiar, charming, and graceful. He pays a lot of attention to his looks, I mean the male person's looks, small details, and behaves a little playful or flirty like women do. But at the same time, he shows a slight touch of strong masculinity, so it doesn't seem fully feminine. Women often like qualities that remind them of themselves. So when a man shows a mix of feminine charm and a little bit of masculine power, it becomes very attractive and fascinating for women. So this is what it's trying to say. I hope you guys get that. Like a male person who has some female qualities, a female will attract to him. Okay, so this is it. By showing them feminine charm, a man can mesmerize and disarm her. By showing some bold masculine love. Okay, the masculine dandy. This is for female. Sorry, Robert Greene. I need to make some notes. So I think this is the last part. Then there will be a natural. Okay, so let's read. The masculine dandy. The slightly androgynous female succeeds by rever- eh, reversing the normal pattern of male superiority in matters of love and seduction. A man's apparent independence, his capacity for detachment, often seems to give him the upper hand in the dynamic between men and women. A purely feminine who a purely feminine woman will arouse desire, but is always vulnerable to the man's capricious loss of interest. But always vulnerable to the man's capricious loss of interest. A purely masculine woman, on the other hand, will not arouse that interest at all. Okay, so if there is a feminine person, a purely feminine woman will arouse desire but is always vulnerable to the man's capricious loss of interest. A purely masculine woman, on the other hand, will not arouse that interest at all. Follow the path of the masculine dandy, however, and you naturalize all a man's powers. Never give completely of yourself. Never give completely of yourself. While you are passionate and sexual, always retain an air of independence and self possession. You might move on to the next man, or so he will think. You have other more important matters to concern yourself with, such as your work. Hmm. Let's say a woman. Let's first talk about the feminine woman. Okay. Let's say a feminine woman, a narcissist woman who has some feminine qualities, arouse the desire for men. Okay, so where I was, let's say a purely feminine woman, okay, she will arouse desire but is always vulnerable. She will always thinking like what would happen if her man lost interest. Okay, a purely masculine woman don't think about it. Okay, she won't even arouse interest at all. Follow the path of masculine dandy. She will follow the masculine dandy. Okay, because she has some characteristics of like a man. So what she will do, she will neutralize the power of all of man's powers. Okay, give never give completely of yourself while you are passionate and sexual. Always retain an air of independence and self-obsession. You might move on to the next man. Yeah, you can obviously move it, or so he will think. Okay, so if you behave like independent and self-possession, then the man you are with, he will think like you can move to the another man, or you will, or he will think about it, something like that. But you have some other important matters to concern yourself with, such as your work, right? So that's it. Men do not know how to fight women who use their own weapons against them. Obviously, yes. Men do not know how to fight. Men is masculine, and fe- if there is a female who is also masculine, the man doesn't know like how to deal with the weapons that he has. Men do not know how to fight women who uses their own weapons against them. They are intrigued, aroused, and disarmed. So that's how you can disarm of masculine, and that's how you can disarm the female. Okay, disarm female, disarm male. Okay, that's it. According to Freud, the human libido is essentially bisexual. Most people are in some way attracted to people of their own sex, but social constraints, varying with culture and historical period, repress these impulses. The dandy represents a release from such constraints. Do not be misled by the surface disapproval your dandy pose may elicit. Society may publicize its distrust of androgyny, the Christian biology. Okay. Satan is often represented as androgynous, but this conceals its fascination. What is most seductive is often what is most repressed. Learn a playful dandyism and you will become the magnet for people's dark, unrealized yearnings. Learn a playful dandyism. Obviously, I'm going to learn the masculine one, but if there is a masculine person, she's female, then it's a very big problem. Then I have to also learn the, female. I have to learn about some female, feminine qualities. The key to power is ambiguity. What is the meaning of ambiguity, man? Ambiguity. Okay, ambiguity means something that is not clear or has more than one possible meaning. So you are unsure what the exact meaning is. If someone says, I'll see you later, when? Where? Not clear. A sentence like he saw the man with the telescope. Who has the telescope? The man or he? It's unclear. Okay. In short, ambiguity means confusion because something can be understood in different ways. Ambiguity. Okay. Got it. The key to such power is ambiguity. In a society where the roles everyone plays are obvious, the refusal to conform to any standard will excite interest, be both masculine and feminine. Okay, both masculine with masculine people with masculine women. I don't know with whom you have to be masculine or feminine, but have the both qualities impudent and charming, subtle and outrageous. Let other people worry about being socially acceptable. Those types are a dime a dozen, and you are after a power greater than they can imagine. Be both masculine and feminine, impudent and charming, subtle and outrageous. Let other people worry about being logically acceptable. Those types are a dime a dozen, and you are after a power greater than they can imagine. Symbol: the orchid. Its shape and color oddly suggest both sexes. Its odor is sweet and decadent. It is a tropical flower of evil. Okay, it is a tropical flower of evil, delicate and highly cultivated. It is prized for its rarity. It is unlike any other flower. It is prized for its rarity. It is unlikely any other flower. So yes guys, this is it. So today we have learned about the dandy, the seductive character of man and female, the masculinity and you know, the masculinity, the femininity, everything. So this is dandy. So I'll see you in the next one. Till then, have a good day and take care.